and welcome to Presenting for Success. I'm Arti Halai. Welcome to my bubble. What's a bubble? Well, I'll tell you more about that later on. It seemed like an amazing thing to do at the time when I was asked to do a session on presentations for BBTV. But then the date started to draw closer and closer, and I started to panic more and more. Because you see, I have a confession to make. I'm not a natural presenter. I have to work very hard at my art. And what was going around in my head at the time was, why did I agree to do this? How am I going to get across what's in here over to you? And all under the pressure of a ticking time bomb. Tick, tick, tick. And then it came to me. Oh yes, I had an aha moment. Thank goodness for Google. It's got the answer to everything, right? So I put in the word presentations, and lo and behold, more than 1 billion results came up. I mean, talk about information overload. Of course, Google can tell me there's all these sites and all this information, but what it can't really tell me are the best sites to go to. Now, I know I worked in a newsroom as a TV reporter and presenter for more than 15 years, but it's a tall order to summarize all that information. So I'm going to give you my take on it. And the good news is there are only 3 things that are really going to make a difference when it comes to your presentations in today's day and age, whether it's before a live actual audience where you're physically in the same room as your audience, or it's a live virtual audience, a little bit like what I'm doing now. And they'll work because whether it's a keynote speech at a conference or a summit, or if you're in a meeting, or even if you're sharing information with your stakeholders or staff, this formula has been tried and tested and delivered and taught, and it works. Fundamentally, strip your message to the core. Deliver it with energy, and at the heart of it all lies authenticity. Authenticity, from the Greek ancient word authentikos, meaning genuine. It's all about being true to one's character, personality, and spirit. Can I believe you? Are you saying what you mean? Let's take organizations or companies. They say all the time, don't they? Our clients and our customers are of paramount importance to us. And then what happens? We need to contact them for whatever reason, and we get put straight through to an automated system. Your call is very important. Please hold. You are 15th on the line. Or your call is very important to us. Please hold. You are 7th on the line. Or your call is very important to us. Please hold. You are 3rd on the line. Authentic? And what about individuals? Politicians and world leaders give us lots to think about here, as well as entertainers. Take a look at this. Recognize him? Barack Obama, once the most powerful man in the world as President of the United States of America. Is he authentic? Let's take another one. What about him? He also held the position as the most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump. Now, here's the thing. Park aside your likes or your dislikes about both Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Don't even think about their policies or whether you agree with them or disagree with them. That's not what this is about. I asked you about whether they were authentic. And the truth is, they're both authentic because they're true to their personality, character, and spirit. What then of this very famous family? Made famous from reality television, the Kardashians. Are they authentic, real, or fake? Was it all just for the sake of the camera, or are they really like that? And my last one, what about him? According to a YouGov poll, Bill Gates is the most admired man in the world. 42,000 people from across 41 countries voted him so. And a strong criteria of that would definitely have been authenticity. So, what about you? Are you being authentic when you present? What does that even mean? Well, one way of being authentic is to show you care. You really care. Timing's perfect for this because we're all going through a tough emotional roller coaster ride with COVID-19. And allowing yourself to show a little vulnerability using emotive language will not harm you, but instead make you more human. Authenticity is tied to self-awareness. You have to know your strengths, weaknesses, likes, dislikes, your beliefs, your values, those things that are important to you at a deep level. What do you stand for as an individual? I know what I would be thinking if I was sitting in your seat right now. I would be thinking, that's all fine, but how does it relate to presenting? Well, let me give you an example through one of my own personal values, excellence. In anything I commit to, that's how I want to be. Whether it's a project or a presentation, I want to be excellent. And I measure that excellence by my own standards because, let's face it, if you have to give a score of 1 to 10, where 1 is poor and 10 is out of this world, then everybody will have their own way of scoring. So I have to ask, what does being excellent mean to me? And it means being the best I can be. When I have spent the time, effort, energy, and given it my best shot, then I know I've delivered excellence to the best of my ability. And you know something? I'm okay with that. Earl Nightingale says, excellence always sells. I want to move on now to talk about designing your presentation. We live in a society with information overload, distant communication, and remote presenting. So it's imperative that your message sticks. And if your message doesn't stick, then you're wasting that most precious commodity that we have, time, both yours and the audience's. I use this formula because it's tried and tested and it works every time in lots of different situations. Picture a skeleton. Have you pictured it? What's holding it upright? That's right. Its spine or the backbone. The spine or the backbone is the aim of your presentation, and it needs to be just one sentence. Your presentation will either be something you want someone to understand better, or it'll be because you want to convince or persuade them to do something. The aim of my presentation today is to help you understand the most important aspects of a powerful presentation. Are you being you, authenticity, structure in the form of a design, and energy, how you're going to bring it to life. And what having this sentence does is it keeps me focused. We then move on to the power of 3. We remember things in 3s. Neuroscientists and research shows it's more appealing and easier to remember things in this way. Our brains are pattern-seeking machines, and 3 is the smallest number we need to make a pattern, the perfect combination of brevity and rhythm. Remember these? A miles a day helps you work, rest, and play. How long ago was that? That was an advertising slogan harking back to the 70s and 80s. In politics, Tony Blair said our priorities are education, education, education. More recently, we've had the government campaign around COVID-19 during the first lockdown. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives. Children's stories are packed with it. You have Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You have the Three Little Pigs, the Three Musketeers. In the Olympic Games, what do you have? A gold medal, a silver medal, and a bronze medal. And of course, every story has a start, middle, and end. So when it comes to our presentations, we think of three clear headings, words, phrases, messages that tie into our aim. And that is how we structure our presentation. You can see clearly here how I've designed this presentation in three clear sections: authenticity, design, and energy. My final section then is about your delivery. And in particular, I want to look at energy, because presenting is an exchange of energy. When we are passionate about what we are saying, it comes through in our body language and vocals. Here's what I'd like you to do. Ask anyone you know to talk passionately about something they love to do, and just watch them. They'll really be in flow. Their eyes may be more open. They'll use their hands and their arms. They'll lean in towards you. They may speak a little faster, maybe louder, smile, even laugh. And they'll get you to mirror them and do the same thing. Passion creates energy. So does using your vocals. You know, it takes me back to when I was at school. I'm going to share a story with you. Absolutely true. When I was 12 years old, sitting in my English class, our English teacher, who also happened to be the year head, actually, if I remember correctly, would turn to the class and say, okay, let's all have a really good laugh now. Arti, can you read for us? Now, for a shy, quiet girl, I can tell you that was excruciatingly painful, because I had no idea how I was reading or why the class was laughing at me. But what I did know with 100% certainty was I did not want to be laughed at. So eventually what I started to do was I started to read in this monotone manner. And eventually the class didn't find it funny and nobody laughed. Really ironic then that I ended up reading the news on national TV years later. How did I do that? Every day for years, I took a newspaper and I read it out loud. I practiced all my talks, scripts, speeches to this day out loud, and I urge you to do exactly the same. I urge you to record yourself reading a children's story out loud, because they are written in such a way that you have to bring the characters to life, and they really will help you use your vocals and the range in your vocals in the best way possible. So read the story and record it. And then I want you to emphasize certain words and put forward slashes where you might need to take a breather and record it again. And then I want you to record it a third time and really bring those characters to life so they leap out of the page. And I tell you, when you look back at the three recordings, what you'll find is, if this was your starting point and this was the really exaggerated version, and I know what you're saying, when I come to presentations, I'll never be this super exaggerated version. Of course you won't, but your vocals and the use and the way that you use your vocals will have shifted the vocal delivery to here. And that will make a huge difference to your conversations and your presentations. You see, your vocals are the most reliable tools we have for influencing others. So next time you're doing a presentation or even having a conversation, imagine an energy bubble that encloses you and the entire audience. Your job is to fill that bubble with enough vocal energy and animation to allow everyone involved to feel connected. Thank you for being part of my bubble. The world is changing. The way we do things will be different, but some things stay deeply rooted, just like the good old oak tree. Stay true to yourself. Design what you want to say and deliver it with passion and energy. It works for me. It'll work for you too. Thank you. And I'm very happy to take any questions you may have now.